Good morning, everybody. Welcome to You'll Convert and You'll Like, How to Build Landing Pages That Work. My name is Nate Strong, and I'm the Customer Success Manager here at Societo, and I have with me Megan Kaufman, who is our Marketing Manager. This topic was born out of our need for customers to be able to convert people after they've gone through the Societo workflow. So we thought this idea up of how do we engage people in a way that allows them to convert quickly and for the right reasons to whatever content or whatever offering you're giving them. So without further ado, I'll let Megan take it away.
Okay, thanks, Nate. So basically, we're just going to talk about a couple different aspects of landing pages, how they're different from home pages, and how to build one that creates an experience that users actually enjoy and makes them want to convert. So first things first, why build a landing page? Landing pages are top of the marketing funnel. So with a vast majority of landing pages, you should assume that your customers do not know your brand. They are not familiar with you. They're simply looking for a solution to a problem, and you are providing that solution. Landing pages provide a very efficient sales cycle. You come, you jump right in, you have something leading you there, right? So whether it's a PPC ad or a link from a direct message on Twitter, your customer wants to just come to your page, convert, and be done with it. They are looking for efficiency, and you are looking for efficiency. Also, engaging. Because users probably don't know your brand, this is your opportunity to present the tone of your brand, the messaging that you want to present that is totally efficient so that they want to engage more with you. Also building a list. Landing pages are built for a plethora of different uses, whether it's a free trial or for a white paper or whatever. You have a lot of different options for what your conversion goal will be, but one great option is simply building an email list. So if it's a white paper, you require an email for them to get the content, and then you have this list of new potential customers who had no idea who you were before and are now engaged, are now signing up. So that's great. And then, of course, conversions. You want new customers. You have a landing page, one-stop shop. You get all these new customers. But how do they get there? How do they come to your landing page? Obviously, Societo is our #1 choice. Societo works because it's targeted. If you have PPC ads or another campaign, it's a shot in the dark, basically. Whoever comes, and you have no control over it. You have control over who comes to your landing page if you use Societo. PPC ads. If you're doing a PPC ad campaign, the more expensive, obviously, it's much like SEO. PPC ads are harder to target a specific audience. If you have broader keywords, they're also more expensive. So the longer tail keywords or phrases you do for PPC ads, the better, the lower conversion rate, but the higher quality the leads generally, depending on what keywords you put in. Banner ads. You can lead people to a landing page from banner ads, and this is pretty helpful if you know exactly which site or which publication your target audience is going to. Paid social ads are highly visual, as you can see here, and if you do a paid social ad, it is imperative that you are optimized for the mobile experience, because everyone on social is going to be on, 80% at least are going to be on mobile devices. So if you are doing a paid social ad that goes to a landing page, your landing page must be optimized for the mobile experience. Okay, so they're here. They're at your landing page, so now what? We're going to learn the difference between a landing page and a home page. A landing page solves a problem. As I said before, your customers, your users on this landing page are not there because they love your brand. They're there because they have an issue or a problem that they need to solve. Your landing page is an introduction. It's like a warm handshake. It's approaching someone at a party and just telling them that you can help them. It's an all-inclusive experience. You shouldn't go anywhere from the home page, or I'm sorry, from the landing page. Its only purpose is conversion. So you come, you have this experience, everything is included on this one page, and you convert. Now, the other end of this is the home page. Home page, when you get there, provides information. It's an introduction. The brand may already be known. If you go to like Coca-Cola's homepage, it's going to assume that you know what Coca-Cola is. The homepage provides different paths for different users to take throughout your website. So it's not one purpose, one conversion. It provides different paths to multiple different conversions for different users. It's there to inform you rather than to just strictly, do business. So going back to landing pages, I want to look at this from the customer's perspective. It's solving their problem. One thing, the biggest issue that I see with landing pages right now is that the landing pages that don't convert are not thinking of the customer first. That is imperative. You're building this for them. You're not actually building it for you. You want a conversion, but you're building it for them. And when you build it for them, that's when you get the conversions. So you're solving their problem. You're introducing your brand, but you're introducing your brand as a solution. Your all-inclusive experience is directed towards their conversion, and your only purpose is conversion on your side, but for them it's resolution of whatever problem they have. So how do you guide towards conversion? You have one page, landing page, and one conversion. You should not have more than one option for conversion. They are there for one purpose, and you are there to serve them that purpose. And be user-friendly, right? Because you don't want, if I'm going to land on a landing page, you have one shot at my business, basically. And if you don't understand my problem and the solution that I'm looking for, I'm not going to convert. And so you need to understand me and be user-friendly. So here at Socito, our logo is a penguin. We have an affinity for penguins. So I decided to search for saving the penguins, right? So we have 2 paid ads here that are saving the penguins. So the first example, the penguins are at risk. So we're looking at this landing page, and you see the image of the penguins, but there's a lot of other things going on here. The form for conversion doesn't say, donate to help the penguins. It says donate to help conservation, and it's not specific to what I searched for. The next button, should stand out because it's yellow, but it's not completely obvious to me. It's not inviting. Also, I'm searching to save the penguins, and there's a baby gorilla there, which is distracting, and it makes me feel like maybe, I like saving the penguins, but I also like gorillas, and well, let's see what other wildlife I can save. And so I look to the left, bears, big cats, birds, and, Wildlife Conservation Society, maybe I'll just go back to the home page and just kind of waste time on the site. And then there's the top navigation there in the search bar. Like if I'm, let's say I'm in South Florida, I want to know if you're going to save the manatees as well. And then I'm just completely distracted, and I'm not going to donate money because I am not even thinking about the penguins anymore. I'm thinking about all these other things that you have. So let's go to the second example, help save the penguins. Okay. Oh, look. There's penguins right in the middle. I love them already. They're so cute. And right next to it, choose your adoption level. This is the simplest conversion possible. $50, add to cart. I mean, I want to do it. I want to do it right now. I want to just stop this webinar and go adopt a penguin. And, you know, adopting a penguin is more inviting to me than, you know, donating towards conservation. Even though, you know, I might be passionate about donating towards conservation, that's just not as inviting as adopting a penguin. I want to adopt a penguin. I want to adopt a penguin for, like, my neighbor kid. You know, I want everyone to adopt a penguin. And you'll notice also that the CTA, the button Add to Cart, is the same color as the last one. Essentially, it's they're both yellow, but this one just stands out. The form is simple. It matches the penguin, black, yellow, white. It's great. And then also, there's a little button down at the bottom. It's not secretive, but it's just kind of inviting. Scroll to see more. Okay, well, heck, I'll do that. So I scroll down, and it tells me everything I love about penguins. And then it gives me other options for conversion, right? Look at that, a stuffed penguin. You know, I have all these different options now, and look, it starts at 105. That's too expensive for me, but heck, maybe the 50 or 45, and maybe I'll get one of those options and then give one to my neighbor kid and like have a whole penguin party, and like everyone can adopt penguins, and we can all just feel good about ourselves all day long. That's great. And then you have multiple conversions. And obviously, this is easier to do when you're saving penguins and not as easy to do when you're a cloud-based data company. But you can still make conversion not as much of a chore, just through like your wording or the way the experience is. So let's see. Guiding towards conversion. Simple design, eye-catching button, user-friendly, provide just enough information, right? The first example, you had too much information. We also, you know, protect bears and, you know, whatever, other birds. Just keep it on the penguins, keep it on the goal at hand. Different options towards the same conversion. If this isn't possible, it's not possible. These are not hard, fast rules. If you have one conversion, stick with it. If you have other ways to go towards the same conversion, then do that. Don't have more than one conversion, right? So in the example that we just saw, the conversion is always donating money. No matter what, it's always donating money. That's fine. They're not asking me to like donate money or sign up for their newsletter. No, it's the same conversion, but it's just different in different forms. Okay, let's move on. Content and design. Design, it's very important. Design is you feel a design of a page before you even read the words. Before you even know what they're offering, you have a feeling about this. So the feeling that you should evoke should be the solution of whatever problem they have. It should not be sometimes you get to landing pages and they're communicating the problem at hand. And while that, you know, lets me feel like you have empathy for me, you understand my problem, I want to feel the solution already within my grasp. So with design, priorities should be above the fold. Above the fold is this is your one shot to introduce yourself. There's no guarantee that anyone is going to scroll down. So before they scroll down, your highest priorities need to be at top. Now that's hard to do because what if you have a complex product and you have to explain everything, above the fold and have this form and the button and it has to all, be laid out beautifully. It's not an easy thing to do. That's why there's so much content on how to build great landing pages. But what you need to remember is that it should be simple and direct. Don't a lot of the content and the design is really kind of, oh, well, if they are searching for this problem, then they must be within my industry and already know all this stuff. I don't need to lay it all out. Just state it clearly, state exactly what your solution is, draw the eye towards the CTA, and make the conversion easy. What I mean by that is, I understand that you want certain information from the customers, but think about what they're willing to give for the value that you're providing. So let's look at some examples. I figured the best way to get great landing pages was to search for landing pages, and the results are varied. So high convert landing page. Okay, that you mean high converting? Anyway. So page gimmicks. Well, there are some things right off the bat. I don't know where to go from here. Where's the CTA? There's some unnecessary distractions. I see this navigation bar at the top. I just kind of want to go somewhere else now. Also, it says, let's see, easily create e-commerce landing pages that convert. Really? Well, when you say really, I'm not convinced. Also, what is these dots that are going down? I'm kind of worried about the fact that this is going down. I don't really know what this has to do with chemistry or with landing pages. Also, going back to the more emphatic you are about something, the less I'm going to trust you. So if you say, I promise that our landing pages are the best, I don't trust you. But if you have someone, if you have a customer stating, these Page Gimmicks landing pages worked, 200 times better, I got 200% more conversions than with my other landing pages. Now I believe you because you have social proof. Someone else is talking about you. Now I believe you. Or when you say, for our customers, conversions went up 56%. That's great. I believe you. But if you say they convert, really they do. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. Okay, so then we go down. Scroll down and they're giving you an example, which is great, but what if I don't sell cashmere sweaters? I don't really care about this example. And then at the very bottom, fill out the form, it'll be worth your time, we promise. Again, you promise? I mean, I don't even know you. I'm not familiar with your brand, and that's one thing that you have to remember is that whoever's coming to your site doesn't know you. They're not going to believe you unless you give social proof or data. And last, they said, fill out our form. It'll be worth your time. And then they give a contact us form. I'm sorry. I thought I was buying something. And message, what am I supposed to write here? If you want some specific information from your customers, specify exactly what you're looking for. Otherwise, they're just going to be turned off. So, design issues with that page. Feelings of like chaos and doubt. Now, what I mean by chaos is like the random dots in the back. I didn't understand why they had that. Your design elements should speak towards the solution that you're providing. So, random dots going downhill doesn't speak towards a solution for me. The only buttons above the fold, they weren't even really CTAs, was the navigation bar. The conversion was easy, but it was too easy. For what I'm looking for, great landing pages, I don't want just I feel like you need more from me than, you know, my name and email and message. So let's see. Let's go on to the next one. Now, granted, this is not in English, but we're not looking at content, we're looking at design. And the design works for me. I don't know if it works for you, but you know, they have an example of this landing page right here, which I like. 58 million people have created a page. I mean, I can read that much. And then it, you know, this bright button, create a page, it's free. Well, heck, and the 1 million people like you on Facebook, well, that's some social proof. And 58 million people have created, that's more proof. I mean, like, you're proving your value. You know that it works, right? I mean, I'm sold. Even though it's not in English, I kind of want to do it anyway. And then the last example that we're going to see here is Optimizely. Now, Optimizely, landing page optimization tool. The way this whole page is designed is overly simplified. I have no choice but to focus on the brand and the form and the content, which is like 2 sentences. That's it. That's where my focus is, and that's, I mean, I'm not distracted. I'm not distracted at all. I'm gonna read the content, which we'll go over later, why it's amazing. But just for design, especially since I'm looking at landing pages, your design needs to speak to the solution. Again, so if I'm looking for landing pages, this is the simplest, most straightforward landing page there is, and I already trust that what they do is going to work because I assume that since they're the landing page optimization tool, that they've tested this. They know what works, and I'm ready to trust them. I'm ready to try it out. Okay, so a feeling of trust and playfulness. The playfulness comes from the content, which we'll get to later. The CTA was incredibly clear, and the value was clear. Okay, sorry, I lied. That's not the last one. Adobe is the last one. Now, Adobe, the first thing I see is this overly complicated. It's not complicated. It's just complex. I mean, look at this. I'm a little intimidated by the sheer amount of information that I have to give to Adobe. However, there are advanced techniques for landing page optimization. Well, heck, I mean, all of this information for a webinar, and you know, look at the information they're already giving me straight off the bat. Website loses 40% of its visitors within the first few moments. That's scary. You know, the smartest retailers make sure their sites are anything but average. You know, I know that this is content, but the design, I'm saying, like, if you're going to have a complex form to fill out, then the value that you give needs to equal that. Now, instead of being intimidated by the form, I'm impressed. I feel like I'm in a group full of smart people, and I want to learn from them, and I'm willing to give you my information because you're smart people. So content next. Solve the problem. So you have to think in terms of your customer. Show and tell. So again, just because your customers may be part of your industry doesn't mean that they know the exact solution that they seek. They know what the problem is, they may not know what solution they're looking for. So give clear statements. This is what we do. This is the problem that we solve. And here's our social proof. And when you give your clear statements, state what's your differentiator, what sets you apart from your competitors. And lastly, this is something that I see a lot. Some people put their benefits above features, features above benefits. So general rule of thumb here is what are you selling? If it's a complex product, if it's like a like marketing software, there's a lot of marketing software out there. I want the features. I just want to see exactly what you offer, and then I want benefits. What problems are you going to solve for me? you know. But if you're selling a resort in Honolulu, I want to feel it first. I want to feel the benefits of, you know, putting my toes in the sand, and I want to feel what it's like to just be on vacation with the wind in my hair, and then I want the features, and then I want, you know, like the 24-hour spa and the massage and da 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 da. I want the features afterwards. So features before benefits, benefits before features. It depends on what you want your customers to feel first. Do you want them to like feel the benefits of it, or do you want them to know what sets you apart first? It's very important. Okay, so let's go back to these landing pages and look at the content that they have. So let's go back. So landing page tool, right? We know right off it's a tool. And it just says that again, landing page optimization tool. You're speaking to the message that got you there. That's very important. If you send a DM, if you have a PPC ad, if you know whatever link that you have that gets them to the landing page needs to acknowledge the message that got them there. So landing page optimization tool. Welcome to Optimizely. Sign up for a free account. Test it out. It's the most popular landing page optimization tool on the planet. No one says it's so conversational. They say welcome. It's a free account. I already know the value of it. I feel like this is actually conversational. And it's a little playful. Type in a URL, try it out. Well, I can't argue with that. Okay. Email, no spam. You're answering my question before I ask it. Thank you. You're like reading my mind, and you know that no one wants spam, so answer that question. And the CTA, test it out. Again, a little bit playful. It's free. What's the harm in that? Just test it out. Okay. So beyond content, beyond design, all of this needs to help you show your value. Not state your value emphatically, but show it. The most popular landing page optimization tool on the planet. Obviously, it's playful, but if it's the most popular one, then you know I'm believing you. Back to Adobe. The content on here, again, I was intimidated, but because of the content on this page, they built their own authority. They made me trust them. Advanced techniques, you know, they're speaking to me. They're making me feel smarter as I'm reading it already, and so that just makes me hunger for more. I'm ready to do it. Okay, so once you have the design elements, the content, it's time to test. There are a lot of things to test on landing pages, and the number one key to success in landing pages is knowing how to test them. I can give you all the tips and tricks in the world, but unless you test whether they are true for your audience, you're not going to get the results that you want. Okay, so a couple of tips on testing. Test one thing at a time. If you test, you know, an image and a new CTA, and you get a decrease in conversions, how do you know which one hindered that? You don't. So one change at a time. Various devices are imperative. Never assume. Never assume. When you assume that a very simplistic design will create more conversions, test it. If you test it and it works, great, you're right. If you test it and you're wrong, then you've learned something. This is always a win-win. So then things to test. Test layout, imagery, and content. We'll go through those. So testing devices. There are tools that you can use that test. You can run a landing page through a tool, and it'll show you how it'll look on different devices. But in my experience, the best way to do it is just to get the device. You never know until you have the device in hand and you see and you see exactly what it looks like and what the experience is like. So if you have a responsive page, do you know that your form is the first thing on there, or that like the headline that you want, if when the page shrinks, are your priorities the top thing on the page when it's in the mobile device? And does the UX make sense? Right? So if you shrink it, if you have a responsive site and you're looking at it on a mobile device, is it all you see, the form? Because if I go to a landing page and I see a form, that's not going to make sense to me, and I'm going to bounce off right away. But if the first thing that I see is like an introduction, H1, or just some introductory text, or an image, then that makes more sense to me on the mobile device, and I'll start scrolling down. So you want to make sure that when you have a responsive landing page, that the user experience makes sense for a mobile device. One of our favorite ways to test devices, and one of our a company that we work with, is Undelay. And Undelay is kind of, I want to say it's replacing responsive. It's not responsive. How would you describe it?
And I know Undelay will, I'll probably butcher this, but they're adaptive to different devices. So you
create a whole different experience, right? Like specific to the device.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool when you look at it, because it's not responsive. It's not like creating the same experience for all the devices. And when you do responsive, the server has to go back and say, what is this? What device are you using, right? And Undelay kind of skips over that so that it's much faster, which is cool. So testing layout, you want to test having the form on the left and the content on the right, or is the content on the, just switch that up, or should it all be in the center? Simplified landing pages versus complex. Do you give an example or show your product? This is especially true with software, or just like in our line of work in like marketing software. Do you show them what your experience is like? Because that's huge. If I don't see what I'm going to be using, then what's the point of me signing up? So testing design, some questions you need to ask. Does it feel like a solution rather than feeling like you're presenting a problem? What's the first thing you see? Ask your mother. I'm dead serious about this. Give your landing page to your mother, your father, someone who is not your coworker, preferably some older relative, and ask them what the first thing they see is, because that's what your consumers are going to see. Does it match the source? Now, what I mean by that is, does it match the link that got them there, right? Does it match the direct message? Does it match the PPC ad? Does it match the social media ad? Does it match the banner that got them there? And then, does the design match the copy? If you have a very busy design, if you had the Adobe layout with like all of that huge form and everything, and then playful copy, it would not work. And just the opposite. If you have like simplistic design, like Optimizely, but just boring copy, that's not going to work as well either. If you're going to show off just a few sentences, you have to make those sentences count. So next thing with design, should your image be big or small or no image at all? You just have to test it. It depends on what you're selling. It depends on what's expected in your industry. But and when all else fails, if you don't know what to do, just test it. Colors are incredibly important for the feeling of a solution when you get there. I want to, and I'm not just talking like the background colors, I'm talking the CTA, I'm talking everything. I want everything should be cohesive with your online experience, with your website, with all your other marketing campaigns. If they come back and search for you, they should feel like they're coming back home. So it should match your brand colors, but it should also feel like a solution. So simple, straightforward, not too many colors.
Yeah, and one of the things too to note is that the tool Underlay allows you to split test these things, and that's really helpful. Is A/B testing, so that you can test maybe two different colors of a conversion of a call to action button, and you can even test that and see which one performs better. And our friends at Underlay have basically told us that the data is what proves it right? So if you have a question about anything on your landing page, the key is split test them, see if there's anything that changes based on conversion rates. Once you get about 100 or so on each hits on each landing page, just change to see if that's which one works better, and then go with that. So
that's great. And so the last one is prioritization. What's your highest priority, and what are your customers' highest priorities? So if it's the information at the top, if it's the form at the top, whatever, you have to change your priorities. And the biggest lesson in testing is you have to be willing to be wrong. If you're not willing to be wrong, you start assuming things, and that's when your conversion rate is going to plummet. You have to be willing to be wrong and be willing to admit that you don't know your audience as well as you think you do. Testing content. Make sure that the tone matches the solution. Gosh, this is hard to explain. So if you're going back to the resort, right, your tone needs to be like relaxing and welcoming. But if the tone, or if the solution is a landing page or is some like marketing solution, then it needs to be more efficient and engaging, because that's what marketing should be, right? Is just efficient and engaging. So content, is it clear? Ask your mother. Please go to your mother and ask her, do you understand what I'm talking about by reading this one landing page? Because again, going back to the beginning, this is the most efficient sales cycle. Like, this is one page, it's an all-inclusive thing. If it's not clear on your landing page, go back to the drawing board. And lastly, and this kind of speaks to it, get to the point and leave the room. Right? State what your solution is, what your differentiator is, why you're different, why you're better than your competitor, and then leave it at that. Don't try to put too much into it. Just get to the point and leave the room. So when you're testing, be patient. Rule of 100. So this basically means that unless you've tested it at least 100 times, it's not statistically significant. So if you have, like a blue button as opposed to a red button, if you do it, 67 times and the red button seems to be working, I don't care. Keep going until you reach 100 users. And I'm not saying like 100 total, I mean 100 on each landing page. So if there's an A landing page and a B landing page, you should have a minimum of 200 users on each landing page, and then you can see 100 on each, 200 total, and then you can see which one is working better. So wait until you have a rule of 100. Wait until it's significant. The value versus the ask. This is something that is imperative. Is the value of what you're offering, and I'm not saying like of your business, I'm saying of what you're offering on this landing page, is the value that you present on this landing page, does it equal or is it more than what you're asking for from your customers? So if you are asking for a credit card, Well, the value of that is, I mean, it's got to be exponential. It's got to be huge, right? Because I don't even know you. Well, I'm not going to give you my credit card right away. The value could be for Adobe. It's the webinar, right? I'm looking at all of these things I'm going to learn on a webinar. Like, the more I realize the higher value this webinar is, the bigger the ask can be. And that's why I'm willing to fill out all of those boxes in that Adobe form, is because the value of the webinar is more and more obvious to me. Lastly, let's say you test everything and it's just not working. You're not getting any conversions. In that case, it might not be you. It might not be your landing page at all. Look, you know, when you do the tracking, are people even getting there? How are people getting there? Maybe it's the ask. Maybe it's, you know, the direct message that you're sending that's not providing value. If your landing page isn't working at all, maybe it's not the landing page at all. Maybe it's what got them there. So it's time to, you know, test that out and, you know, look at different channels, look at different messages to get them to the landing page. If the message doesn't match the page, maybe that's your issue. Think outside the page when you're testing. That's it.
This is great. We do have one question right now, and if you have any other questions and have time, shoot them our way. Are there any do's and don'ts that are obvious for a mobile app company landing page? So if you have a mobile app and you have a landing page to try and get people to download that app, what are the do's and don'ts there? I'm not sure if there's any stats that we have directly on that, probably, but and the question was specifically like, should there be images of the phone, brief description, video, etc.? Any thoughts on that, Megan?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Also, another question that just came in was, what about the value of video? So I think those are kind of related too.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay, I'm going to answer the first one first. So the mobile app, you know what, those are just hard, because having a landing page for an app means that if someone comes to you on your desktop, they have to have their phone right near them, and the value of, you know, of your app needs to be so incredibly apparent that I'm just gonna, you know, while I'm sitting there, oh, it's embarrassing, but while I'm sitting there with my 3 screens, with my TV and my laptop and my phone, which I do all the time, the value of the landing page needs to be so high that I'm going to pick up my phone and search for the app. One thing that I would do, actually, is the landing page should kind of emulate like the Play Store. So if whatever information you have on the Play Store, you can have videos in the background on a landing page. That's fine if you want to, you know, show off what the app does. But when I go to the Play Store, that page, the sell page in the App Store, better look like what I just looked at, because I want to already know what I'm getting into. I don't want any new information on the in the App Store. I want to already know exactly what I'm going to get into, know that it's familiar already, and then go and convert. Videos.
Yeah, what about the value of videos on landing pages?
Test it, obviously, and it depends on loading time. Landing pages need to have a loading time that is immediate. I'm not gonna wait for a landing page, especially since, you know, like I said, the brand isn't known, so I don't have the patience to wait for it. And it depends on what the product is, right? So like if the product has a specific UI, a specific user interface, then yeah, I want to know what that is, and I would like to see a video of it. If it's a, you know, person talking to me about something, nope, I don't have time for that. I just want I want the content right there, and I want, and if the video is an example of whatever you're doing, great. If it's introductory, no.
Yeah. I think the key with video, and I used to work in video production as well as is for those types of pages, when they're coming from onto a landing page, they're trying to solve a problem. So
Right.
solve their problem with the
Right.
video.
Exactly.
Video will convert higher if you're solving a problem, not if you're trying to resell them on something, because you're not selling them, you're solving a problem. The sales videos are for like portfolio pages or for front pages sometimes. Testimonial videos will go on a testimonials page or on a home page, but on a landing page you want to solve their problem with a video, and in that case, if you can do that, then please do put a video on there.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. The video should start with showing the solution, right? Showing someone who's had the same problem and they're so happy because their problem has been solved. Don't start with someone having the problem. Start with someone whose problem has already been solved.
And also, sorry to get on the video train, but I spent the last 2 years of my life making thousands of videos, and the thing that we saw that was really, really effective was when you solve that problem in the first 8 seconds, because if you do not let people know in those first 8 seconds of the video that you're going to solve their problem, or at least maybe not solve their problem, but at least show them that you're going to solve their problem in the first 8 seconds, if that doesn't happen, then they're gone.
Yeah.
And so, and then also note that U.S. drop-off rates on videos are about 57 seconds. So make sure that the video is really no longer than a minute on those pages. And so the key there is, and what we've seen is, don't do fancy logo intros, don't do too much content, and by the way, a minute of video is 120 to 140 words. So we're talking very quick, very efficient overview of solving a problem right there. So, and by the way, making short videos is extremely hard. So I've seen it done, but it's also very, very hard. But if you have any questions about that, I would be happy to answer more specifically about video and how the best ways to make people convert off that. Because if it's done right, then please put it on your landing page. If it's not done right, then it may detract or not help at all.
All right. Awesome. Any more questions?
Any more questions from the crowd? If you'd like, you can shoot them over to us. Note that there will be a recording available afterwards if you want to send it out to your friends or anything. We can also send you the PowerPoint deck if you'd like. We are, oh yeah, it looks like we're just getting thanks guys here. So thanks for getting on the webinar, and we will have probably another one in a month or so.
Yep.
And just let us know what you thought of this, and if there were any improvements that could be made, just shoot us an email, info@sociedo.com. And if you haven't checked out Sociedo in a while, make sure you sign up for a free trial or a requested demo on our page.
Yep.
And we'd be happy to convert on our page. We'd be happy to help you out. So have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.